Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to this preview for tomorrow night's Manchester United versus Man City Carabao Cup semi-final. Well, sorry if the intro is not full of joy, but obviously the news broke a few hours ago that Man City legend Colin Bell has sadly passed away. Like all of football's legends, it hits fans quite hard, certainly those who were around in those particular days. So before we have got some guests on, before I bring them in, I just want to, this is for Colin. Well, there you go. I'm sure many people who are watching this who've been to games have heard that chant surrounding the Etihad and especially away grounds, things like that. But yeah, it's a very, very sad day. I've got a couple of guests on at the moment. I said there could be another 3 or 4 people joining us at certain points. But just to talk about Colin Bell before we get into the United preview, I'm really pleased to say, maybe not under these circumstances, but Yannicka's on. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm fine. Obviously, it's very sad about Colin. It shocked me a bit because it didn't. I know obviously he's not young, but he wasn't that old either. So I'm quite shocked. Like, obviously, this season we've not been at the stadium, but usually he's there. You see him a few times a season at least. So it's quite a shock. It's a shame that he's gone in these circumstances where he's not seen City for a while. So it's really sad.
It is. It's a sad day. Also, I've got Chris. Chris, what are your thoughts, mate?
Andy, it's just a really sad day for the Blues, isn't it? Colin Bell is, to many, considered the best player ever to stick that jersey on. And what a humble and lovely man he was as well. He was not a showy bloke, but on the pitch, he just had everything. I feel I never really got to see Colin Bell. I came the generation after that, the Chewarts and the Barneses. And I don't know what happened there. And he will be sadly missed by everyone connected at Manchester City, I'm sure. Just rest in peace. I genuinely am upset. When I got home from work, I heard it on the radio, and I stopped the car in the middle of nowhere and sort of took a minute or two. Got home, and my kids were on the Skyping the granddad, my dad, and I sort of came in and said to him, have you heard about Colin Bell? And he was visibly shocked when I told him. I don't think he wanted to get upset in front of the kids, but whenever he ever spoke of Colin Bell, it was just what a player he was, a genius. So, R.I.P. Colin.
Yeah, it's really sad. It is absolutely sad. I know there's been lots and lots of comments in the on Twitter and things like that, but. Before we say a little bit more about him, let's just bring up some of, obviously, people who will want to send their condolences on Man City Fan TV. Adam Quinn says, rest in peace to King Colin Bell. Michael Feeney says, just the best City player for me. God rest him. A class man as well. Very sorry for his family. God rest you, Colin the King. Rest in peace, Colin Bell, says Simon. Adam, very sad news. Rest in peace, Mr. Bell. Dupe's on. Rest in peace, Colin Bell. Best player to play for City. You will always be remembered. Mervyn says, rest in peace, Colin Bell. Again, Sean, rest in peace, Colin Bell. City legend forever. Charlie Everett's good evening, boys, and rest in peace, Colin Bell, an icon of the game. Goes Degrade says, rest in peace, Colin Bell, the King. Scott Williams, I'm sure Scott may have seen Colin Bell. Rest in peace, Colin Bell, the King. He says here, rest in peace, King. My late father's blue eyes lit up every time he talked about Colin, and he just uttered the words majestic. A legend. Tonight I will drink a drink to Colin the King. Rest in peace. Jack Lee says, rest in peace, King Colin Bell. You will be missed. Mark Blue says, City legend. Rest in peace, Colin. Karl will be on in a second. Unbelievable sad news. Only one Colin Bell, says Anthony Elmar. Leslie Anchors, very sad news. One of our legends, Nijinsky, King Colin Bell. Rest in peace. Legends come and go, says Galaxy Legends. I'm speechless. I'm a bit speechless with Galaxy. Maradona left the world today. Another leaves the world. Legends, yeah, it does. He's a legend to City fans and probably Manchester folk alike because he was such a nice man. Levi Greenwood says hi. Evening Blue says Ronnie Beaver. Come on, Brentford. We'll talk about the football shortly. Is there anybody else with any... I'm a United fan, but rest in peace. Colin says Milo Waring.
United put a lovely thing on Twitter. They really
Have they?
It was really touching.
Yeah, I'm sure they will do. I always sit in the Colin Bell stand, says Charlie. Rest in peace, King Colin. City till I die. We've got Karl. Karl's joined us. I'll bring him on in a minute when he's ready. Don't know whether he's having telling his kids and things what they should be doing, being quiet. But here he is. Yeah, there you go. He's here. How are you, Karl, over in Washington, D.C.?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Yannicka.
Hi, Karl.
Hi.
Yeah, telling my kids off.
Yeah, obviously, sad news, Karl.
Very sad news. Very sad news,
yeah.
I didn't watch him. I didn't know him. I sat in the stand. I've looked at some of the clips on YouTube. The guy was just phenomenal. He looked really good on the ball, off the ball. And what I hear of him, he was a real legend, humble. The modern professional player. And will be missed. The great ones are few and far between, and he'll be missed. Condolences to all City fans. Yeah,
he will. Obviously, born the 26th of February 1946, and obviously died on this day, the 5th of January 2021, age 74. He started off at Bury and moved to City, and then sort of finished his career at San Jose Earthquakes. 48 England caps, 394 City games with 117 goals, and obviously he was famous in the trio Lee, Bell, Summerby. My first game was March 77 against Norwich, and Stewart scored twice, and I apparently was at the Boxing Day game. I don't remember anything. I don't even remember my first game. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember it, even though supposedly I was there that was my first game with the 2-0 win over Norwich. But I don't remember. I honestly don't remember it. I wish I could lie and say, oh, I can remember this noise when it came on and all these type of things. But I don't remember anything of City till I was about 9. I think is my real recollection of being outside Main Road and things. But sadly, I know there are people who are a little bit older than me who got the opportunity to see Colin Bell. Sadly for me, I didn't, or I not that I can remember. And that always pains me because I think he was of my generation or my parents' generation, he was just, or anybody 10 years older than me. He was their absolute legend. So, Chris, I'm sure your dad had memories as well of Colin.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a wonderful player. That that's what there's some great footballers from that era. In Manchester, it wasn't just Best, Charlton, and
yeah.
It was some of the Bell and Lee. And they just. My dad tells me he'd go to watch City because they were cheaper to go watch, but he would also go to Old Trafford. But they were wonderful times. My mum's a dirty rag, unfortunately, and but it's just a really sad day because that name Colin Bell has lived through our lifetime. Andy going to match. I'm exactly the same as Joe. 76, I think, was my first game. I don't remember anything about it. My dad asked me. My dad said, I asked where George Best was, and he told me to shut up because was and we were playing QPR, and I wanted to know where the Queen was, but I was only the eye of a grasshopper. But Colin Bell's name has lived on through, for all those decades that passed, and obviously with the naming of the stand after him, he will be remembered forevermore. But even when all the guys who've seen him pass as well, Colin Bell will live on forever.
Yeah, he will. I was just speaking to Jim Whitley on Twitter. He DM'd me, Happy New Year. And if you want to come on, you can do. And he went, I'm going to open a beer and I've probably shed a few tears and blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm just devastated. And I'm sure there'll be an awful lot of ex-City players, and obviously Mike Summerby still at the club. That will be very, very sad tonight over the passing of Colin Bell. And so from everyone from Man City Fan TV, just, it's a terrible time as it is. And then when obviously somebody loses life. And I must admit, the last time I saw him at the Etihad, he looked fit and healthy, and always looked fit and healthy. And I'm sure, Yannicka, you mentioned before that you've seen the last games.
He's always there. Like, obviously, like when we win a trophy, he always brings it out. But like, you see him around, and he just looks. Because I was saying a while ago, like, he looks really good. For his age, he's always looking good. But yeah, it's just a shame because it's just like, I think even the fact that like, if this pandemic hadn't happened, he would have been there at the end of the season with obviously because we did win one trophy. So he would have been there. So it's just a shame that it's happened in this circumstances, If he was like 90, it's a little bit different, but 74 is not really that old. So,
it is. You're absolutely spot on. The fact that nobody's there, nobody's seen him since the pre-lockdown, or fans, unless they've obviously come across him somewhere else. But normally is one of the players into the legends that people flock to and try and get a photograph, even though he's a notoriously shy person. I think he's always helped out. Karl, anything else you want to add? I know Martin will come in and want desperately something.
No, I mean, as the baby of the group here in terms of following the club, I often go back and look at the old YouTube clicks because I want to understand the history. I want to understand what makes the fans tick, the history of the club, And the guy won the first European Cup, right? Cup Winners' Cup, didn't he? He won the right. He won the FA Cup. He won. He won everything they could win, literally, right? He won everything that a club in England could win at that point in time, except for the European Cup. But the Cup Winners' Cup, he won it. And up until today, he's still within that generation that gave us a European Cup. That's significant. So I shed a tear or two to commiserate with the fans. But I'm going to watch all the clips tonight again just to enjoy a legend that has passed onto the great beyond.
Yes, sadly, and obviously, just City versus United. We just had the recent passing of Tommy Docherty as well, from United. So, two. I'm sure those two may have had plenty of things to say over the years. And if you could only be a fly on the wall at some of the conversations, I'm sure. And
I think Tommy Docherty probably had most to say in that conversation.
I'm sure. By all accounts, Colin Bell's a very quiet man, and one of the few But yes, I'm sure there was a little bit of banter flying around. But yeah, it's very sad. It's always sad when clubs, not just Man City, but all clubs lose club legends and things like that. So rest in peace, Colin Bell, MBE, and also all our best to his family and close friends as well at this very sad time. But yes, just a couple of comments here. Scott Williams, class statement from the chairman. Hopefully the club will produce a statue for him, and a great message from Merlin. Once a blue, always a blue. I'm sure he's referring there to maybe David Silva's posted something on social media. But Dupe says, I wasn't alive when he played, but I watched highlights and God, he was good. Loved to score, definitely. Rest in peace. Yeah, hence why they called him Nijinsky. But Charlie Everett finally says, Man City will wear shirts from Colin Bell's era with the number 8 on the back tomorrow night against Man United. Yeah, by all accounts, that's what's going to happen. So there we go. So again, that's the sad passing of Colin Bell, age 74 today. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of more tributes over social media and YouTube channels and things. Go and check them out because he was an absolute Manchester City legend. But we're going to move on to sort of a little bit of news and then going into the Manchester United preview for tomorrow night. Now, firstly, I'm just going to go around the room and just ask, obviously yesterday there were the rumours about Sergio Ramos and it's again been strongly linked today, very strongly by a number of outlets that City could definitely be looking at him in the summer as some kind of replacement. I'll just ask you a yes or a no before I ask you the next question. I'll go around just a yes or a no. Do we need him in the summer, Chris?
No.
Yannicka?
No.
Carl?
Nope.
Okay, so there you go. And what I was looking at was how much he was on at Real Madrid, or how much he currently is. 288 grand a week. And I'm thinking it's going to be 35 in March. And I know we had the arguments about Fernandinho maybe getting another 2 years. And I know Martin, if he was here, would be going, yeah, but you were talking about Fernandinho giving him 2 years. I'd still take Sergio Ramos as some sort of backup. We know how we can get injuries like that, 2 or 3 centre-backs out. I don't know about 288 grand a week, though. I'm sure somebody else will pay him that. I don't know whether City will, but at 35, he's fit as a fiddle. Absolutely fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
And, I think somebody posted brilliantly today on Twitter, buy him just to piss off the Liverpool fans.
Do you know what I did say, though, with that? Because it's like, we don't need him. Obviously, we've finally got a defence that is stacked, which we haven't had.
Yeah.
But I think if anyone can win us the Champions League, you know, he has been there, done that.
Oh.
And I would take him, obviously, if he's reasonably priced. And, you know, I don't know whether Aki will become a left back or whatever, you know what Pep's like. Because I don't think he'll get in our squad any other way. So I don't know if he's going to change Aki's position to kind of fit him in or whatever. But, yeah, he's one of them players. We don't need him. But no. I probably would take him just temporarily, you know, and he can, you know, if you put him in the Champions League with Diaz, like, we're much
or a 3
you know?
or a 3 at the back. I mean, I know we don't. I'm not discussing it because I know we don't need right now, but he is still fitting for Real Madrid.
I think, and I think for me, it's the wages. I think there was an issue with the wages, which is what Real Madrid has. He wants a new deal with Real Madrid for the same amount, and they're saying it's too much money. Yeah. That's the issue. If his wages drop, okay, I you know, that's
it's a lot. I mean, it's 15 million pounds a year. I mean, it's a lot of money for somebody who's going to be 35 in March. But Chris is smirking there. Chris is like, just stop talking about garbage. I can read Chris like a book.
You're right, Andy, because there's not many players in the world I dislike more than Sergio Ramos.
Really, I know. I know. I mean, I don't particularly like him.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in his pedigree.
Oh yeah, he's a Real Madrid legend, isn't he? And
Gotcha.
I don't expect him to play the way that he plays for Madrid for any other club, because that's his club. It's a one-man club. It has been.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I just thought I'd bring it up. Sorry, just thought I'd bring it up only because it's just yesterday I was like, oh god, here we go, and it's rumored by a couple of people say no, they are seriously looking at him. So I thought, well, I'll see what you thought. One other thing I did want to say before I talk about the lineups and we go into the United thing tomorrow is it was interesting today. There were some figures posted. Now, I have said this, and I can't remember whether I've said it on a vlog or whether it's just through WhatsApp between me, Chris, and Martin. But today, figures have been released over the COVID testing thing, seeing as though, City are at the heart of all of this, apparently. 40 positive cases of coronavirus over 2 rounds of the Premier League testing in December to January, as of today. As of the 1st to the 3rd of January, 984 tests were taken, 12 positives out of that 984. Now, that's 1 in 82 tests are positive for coronavirus. Now, in the UK, on average, it's 1 in every 205 tests, because the figures are 487 in every 100,000 tests. So we've got footballers who are being tested day in, day out, apparently, and the Premier League footballers and everything else, 40 positive cases. That is 1 in every 82 players being tested, test positive. Yet in the UK, we're in this full lockdown now, and only 1 in every 205 people are tested positive. What are your thoughts on that? Because, obviously with everything, we want football to continue. Some people do, and things others disagree with it. But it's continuing at a rate of 1 in every 82 players getting tested positive compared to 1 in 205 of the UK population. Now, that's got to be a cause for concern.
It's high, Andy, but I think that the UK numbers are probably higher because the Premier League players are tested, the whole population is tested, right? And so you have more accurate tests, more accurate results. You're probably not getting everybody tested within the UK like in the US.
These are official figures from 487 in 100,000 people test positive. That's 1 in 205 people. The players are being tested in the same way as everyone else is being tested. But for 984 tests, 12 of them test positive. That's 1 in 82 from the 1st to the 3rd of January.
Yeah. It's where we are right now. That's where we are right now in the world with COVID-19. It's the NFL, same thing. We're having the same thing. I think the show goes on because the contracts, the monies is overwhelming.
Oh no, I just wanted to. I'm like that either way. I mean, call it off for me, fine. Keep playing for me, fine. I'm like that. I'm not in one side or the other.
Yeah. So
I looked at though because I did say a week or so ago on those figures, and that figure has actually improved on the positive testing side. Now some people say, well, that's good, but at the end of the day, you are catching a lot of players, and why are all these players getting it if they are isolated social bubble and tests every day, blah blah blah? Don't know, Chris. Yannicka,
no, I was just going to say, do you think it's maybe because they're quite close together? Because I can't see. I know you say that they're in their bubbles, but I think because they're in the bubbles, they probably don't social distance. Obviously, train together. If they're picking up the football, if someone's got coronavirus and they put their hands on the football and then they all touch it, I think it's probably easier spread. I think that's why schools are seeing higher numbers as well, because it's similar in schools where they're probably not social distancing properly. They're using the same cafeterias, that sort of thing. Whereas in the general public, most people are kind of staying within their families. And then if one person in the family gets tested, the others will isolate anyway. So, whereas everyone is getting tested. Whereas like my sister had coronavirus, me and her got tested. Mine came back negative, but I think I had it. I think I just took the test too early. Yeah. So I think with footballers, because they're getting tested every day, and they're in close proximity, the same player might test positive 5, 6, 7 times. So I think that's why it's higher per person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's just that, you know, the country has gone into this full lockdown again because we've got 1 in 205 people being tested positive. Yet footballers continue, and one every 82 gets tested positive, and it's like I don't know. It's all mental anyway.
I mean, over here, I mean, because the States is different, right? All the states have different rules and regulations. My state has been pretty good in terms of managing the virus and managing distancing, and the governor's been really good about doing that. Everybody follows the rules, wear a mask, to social distance, wear hand sanitizers. They've been pretty good. Rates have been up, but not as bad as other states within the country. So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm hearing stories of everyday friends of mine getting coronavirus every day.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, my point is how much longer is this going to continue before we're going to start seeing a real impact? Because if we're going to be in lockdown now till realistically beginning of March or something like that, then how many more games are going to end up being called off in the very near future? And what's going to happen in the future with football? But anyway, on to the Man United versus Man City Carabao Cup semi-final at the Swamp. Well, Aguero, apparently rumours were today that Aguero looked very sharp in training. Will he be back tomorrow? There were a lot of kids training with the first team squad. Cole Palmer, Liam Delap, Taylor Howard-Bellis, Nemecha and Bete, McAtee, Alex Robertson, and also Alpha Dionku as well was training with the first team squad today. So interesting. Will we see a full strength team tomorrow, or will we see some kids starting by Pep? What are your thoughts just on your overview? Don't give me a team, but an overview of what you think going into tomorrow. Start with you, Chris.
But if he plays kids against Manchester United in the semi-final, when he hasn't played him in previous rounds, I'll throttle him. For me, Andy, this is a big game. I wanted to put out a strong team. If it's the same team that played Chelsea, I'm happy with that. Which was an interesting one. If you look at what we played against Chelsea, I wouldn't say that Cancelo or Zinchenko are either them are natural fullbacks. So we had 2 defenders and 8 midfielders on the pitch, So, and it worked. So I won't be too disinterested. I'd be happy with that same sort of lineup.
I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, just keep the same team." Yannicka, what are your thoughts?
I think Pep is Pep. He takes every competition seriously. Even when we've been through in the Champions League, he still doesn't play kids. Or if he does, it's 1 or 2. I think the most we're going to get in terms of kids will be like Foden or something. So, I think he'll start a strong lineup. I don't think it'll be the same as Chelsea because he likes rotating. But I think I'm expecting a very strong team, to be honest. But,
Karl, he just have all those kids so that he could play the first 11 versus the kids or something like that?
No, I think the kids are probably for Sunday against Birmingham. That's what
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, just getting the practice in and getting to the system for Sunday. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Bernardo's out tomorrow, I believe, because he has a card or something. But I think he's going to go strong. He has to respect the competition, respect the fans, right, and go for it tomorrow. And speaking about Andy, about the Chelsea formation, I think the way we play suited the players that he picked. Very technical, very quick, energetic players. Zinchenko, Cancelo, Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo, good on the ball, confused Chelsea.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do tomorrow. Because if you play that formation, in my opinion, the centre-backs will be confused on what to do.
Well, it's interesting. Before I come on, obviously, I'm going to play you. We've got Pundit Jay, as you know, Pundit Jay, all over Twitter. As usual, when it comes to the derby, he collaborates with Man City Fan TV and sent me over a few sort of Viz points. And I'm going to, before I come to him, I'm going to just have a look at the a few of the comments, and I'm bringing him. Dupe says, we're getting battered if we start the kids. Neil says, full strength team tomorrow, followed by kids against Birmingham. There you go. Dino Mares, bring in, keep the rest. Kids on the bench, predicted 11, same lineup except Bernardo out and Mahrez in. Is Walker and Jesus available? No. Walker's definitely not available by all accounts. Jesus, chances are, because he's not had that much training, won't be available, or certainly won't be in the starting 11 tomorrow. Martin says, strongest team, it's the derby. And I think everyone would agree with that. So before we talk about more in-depth stuff about tomorrow, let me introduce to you Pundit Jay, and here he is.
Yeah, first things first, Happy New Year to everyone. But listen, it's your boy Pundit Jay once again for Andy and the Man City Fan TV. And listen, what a game we've got. Carabao Cup semi-final, Manchester derby. What more do we want in the new year on a lockdown? Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, it's all set up nicely, you know, because both teams are in form. Both teams want to go to Wembley. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. And listen, any manager right about now are going to be happy for any piece of silverware, because the Premier League's looking like a mad title race as it is. So a little cup in the trophy cabinet will go down well on both sides of Manchester. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
There you go. So that was just his intro to it, because what I'm going to do is I'll bring in his overview, what he thinks about tomorrow's game. He's also give me his predicted lineup for United, and then he's also give me his score prediction. Tomorrow then, Chris, how excited are you?
Well, I think that the news and Colin Bell are sort of put a different spin on it, really. I'm sure tomorrow morning I won't be feeling too great, mate. That's normal.
Yeah.
Nervous, yeah. Probably several trips to the toilet, that sort of thing. You know, it's just normal, isn't it? Headache, stress. I don't enjoy Derby Day, mate. I don't think there's many of us who really do. So
no. We never ever do. But tomorrow, because it's not just like it's a Premier League game where you think, yeah, no, well, if we get beat at home, yeah, it's an absolute shitter and we hate it and whatever else. It's a semi-final going to Wembley. It takes us to the FA Cup, doesn't it?
Yeah, we remember when they knocked us out of that semi-final, you know, all those years ago before the trophies started to come in. And my best mate at the time was a United fan, and he got on my nerves the next morning and copped for it.
I'm sure. Yannicka, what are your overall thoughts about tomorrow? Nervous, excited?
Oh no, I hate Derby Day. I'm not one of these people that's like, I like it. You know, obviously if we win, it's an amazing feeling. I think we tend to like the Carabao Cup, and we tend to fare better against Man United at Old Trafford than we do at the Etihad. So they're the two things that are giving me a little bit of hope. But I think it's still going to be a difficult game. I was surprised in the Prem that we played the way we did. There didn't seem to be any real passion to win that game. So I'm hoping that this time round the players just show a little bit more fight, because there didn't seem to be any in that league game. So yeah, hopefully we go out there and hopefully we can win. But I think it'll be a good game. Like Chris said, we're both in good. Pundit Jay said we're both in good form. Yeah. I think Ollie needs a trophy, and Pep will want the trophy. So it's going to be one of them. So yeah, we'll have to see.
We will. Karl, any thoughts?
Yeah.
Are you nervous? And
no, there are two parts. There are two parts of this for me. One, there's a part that's optimistic and looking forward to it, because if we can play the way we normally play, high tempo, quick, dynamic, they don't have a chance. Yeah. The other part is if we don't play the way we can play and we make mistakes and we're nervous, then I get nervous, right? So it all depends on which city turns up tomorrow. And so I'm split between am I optimistic or am I nervous? So I'm in this halfway space that I can't decide what I want to be. Maybe tomorrow morning, Chris, maybe I'll decide what I'm at. How I feel.
You'll toilet time. Well, yeah, you'll toilet time each other. You'll be going to the same, you know, it's like when you've been in a pub, you always got.
The only consolation.
Your urinals with the same guy like that. Keep looking at you. Or am I following you?
The only consolation for me is that we've won it 3 times in a row. I think for us, there are more important things to think about. So
Yeah.
know, that's the only thing I like. You know what? We've won it 3 times in a row. We have the Premier League to chase. We have the Champions League, which they're not in. They're in Europa League. So it's like, okay, you know what? Worst come to worst, if we don't win, okay, we'll go and win a Premier League. We'll go for the Champions League.
That's something I think we can fall back on.
I agree. But we want to win.
Pep will want to win, and City fans want to win because it's a derby. I don't know. Obviously, it's a little bit different for you over in the States, but certainly, and as it stands at the moment, it's a little bit different because most people are furloughed or unemployed or whatever else with lockdown. But going back to work the day after you've just had a derby and you've got beat, and all your fellow workers are United fans, or most of them are if you live around Manchester or London area, or if you're in Ireland or Scandinavia, Norway, places like that, most of your work colleagues are United fans. So that's in it, Chris.
Yeah. It's just terrible when you lose to them, isn't it? That's the truth. They are horrible.
That's it. We'll leave it. They are horrible. And what we'll do is we'll listen to Pundit Jay, what he thinks about the overview. So here's Pundit Jay.
Yeah, my thoughts on the game. I think it's going to be a tight game. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to be very tight because obviously, like I said, it's a semi-final. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to lose semis now. Ollie's already lost 3 last season. Pep knows how to navigate semi-finals. So I think it's going to be a bit cagey. But yeah, it's all set up for a good game. Now, both teams, Raheem Sterling for City, he's on form. He roasted Chilwell. Do you know what I mean? He roasted him all game. Do you know what I mean? So he's on form. He's got his pace and his incisiveness back. You know what I mean? I like Bernardo. I like Bernardo against Chelsea as well. Listen, he was finding cute pockets of space, threading through cute balls as well. Do you know what I'm saying for Bernardo? So he's playing his way into form. But I don't think Pep's going to play the same team anyway. So I expect a guy like Mahrez to come in and maybe Aguero as well. So it'll be a different proposition. Do you know what I mean? But for United, it's all about the Bruno show. If City want to win the match, they're going to have to clamp down on Bruno because Bruno's orchestrating everything. Everything's going through that guy. Do you know what I mean? Penalties, free kicks, corners, whatever you want to call it. Through balls, it's going through Bruno. He's the main guy. He's the talisman right about now. Do you know what I mean? The same way KDB is for City. So United are going to have to do a job on Kevin and City are going to have to do a job on Bruno. And whoever does the job better is going to win the game. That's what I think. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, big match for Manchester. Do you know what I'm saying? In the derby for the Carabao Cup semi-final.
There you go. So he thinks, Pundit Jay thinks it's all going to be a battle in the midfield, and certainly between and Kevin De Bruyne, whoever comes out top is going to win it. Chris, Bruno Fernandes. I'll come to you in a minute, Karl. Chris, Bruno Fernandes. I know he's took a lot of penalties, but he's really transformed United.
Yes, he is a good player. There's no two ways about that. I think once Ferner clattered him in the last time he played, he went very quiet, and that's exactly what we should do to him again. You know, let make him go hiding again. But, you know, United, I think they're in a false position. That's my honest opinion. They're getting a hell of a lot of luck. Yep. I don't think they're a great team at all. They have got 1 or 2 really good players and some decent players and some show ponies. I think we are much better than them.
There you go. Better than them, Yannicka.
That's all they're getting.
I think Chris sits on a point there. What do you think? Do you think United are in a false position at the moment?
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually, because I think they have been overachieving. Like, there's games when I've watched United, that Wolves game was awful. And it just looked like none of them were going to score. But I knew with Man United and the luck they have that they would, and they scored like 93rd minute or whatever it was. And I think it's one of them things where in other seasons they wouldn't win them games, but they're getting a little bit of luck that everyone else is a little bit up and down. Because really and truly, the amount of games that even Man City have lost, we wouldn't be in position to go top anytime soon. You know, and this season's just been a mad one. So I think that's why they're where they are. I don't think they'll stay there because I think over the course of the season, defensively, I think they're 14th in the league. And I think defences win your titles. So I think City have a better chance of winning the league. Obviously, we've got Pep too. Liverpool have Klopp. So I think the experience from the managers might come into play later on in the season. It's not really a thing right now because everyone's kind of just on top of each other. But yeah, I think when it comes to it, we've seen with Ollie that he gets Man United so far that they think we're doing really well, and then they tend to kind of have some shock result or something. So hopefully that's the game tomorrow and they'll get beat. But yeah, I think we're better than them. But it just depends on how we play. And I think the key man in the squad for us needs to be Fernandinho, because I think they can't tear our midfield apart when Fernandinho is in there. So I think
that 35-year-old who he's way past it. I mean, he's not good enough for another couple of years.
Yeah,
Martin, he's not on, but you can ask him when he comes on shortly.
Yeah, no, Fernandinho is the guy.
He's giving me that. He's just come on camera.
No, I'm not taking any Fernandinho hate. That's my guy. That's my favourite player. So
there you go, Martin. You've heard it there from Yannicka. Fernandinho definitely deserves extended contracts. Karl, thoughts on tomorrow? Obviously, heard Pundit Jay there talking about Bruno Fernandes and shouts out, and wait until you hear what he thinks about lineups and things as well. He's got praise for Manchester City players. But what are your thoughts on the Bruno Fernandes, De Bruyne?
Well, I think Pundit Jay raises a great point, and I love the guy. I love listening to his punditry. Really enjoyable. He raised a good point about Bruno, the midfield, and Kevin, the midfield. But the issue I have is United are a transition team against the bigger teams. And I use the word bigger teams. City, for example, United will sit back and try to counter-attack. Bruno Fernandes is the best when he controls the midfield and play a possession-based system. Against City, he's not going to do that because they play a possession-based system against City, they get ripped apart. So they're going to go back to transition, which means that we have to make sure we plug the wingers, Rashford, maybe it's James or Rashford and Martial on both sides, so they don't have the outlet. We have to keep the ball and take our chances. But if they want to play a possession-based system against us, they're going to get ripped apart like Chelsea was. A transition game, right, is what they are. They may have a chance. But, while I agree with Pundit Jay, if they're going to open up and play possession-based against us, it will be ugly. To the question of are they in the false position? The reason why they're second is because they have talented players. There's not really a system, right? And talented players will get you last-minute wins, last-minute goals because they're talented.
Last minute, you missed something out there. Last minute wins, last-minute
penalties.
Penalties. Oh, there you go.
Not even last minute, Andy. When the full time they still get one.
They'll get you that. But when you come up against the big boys, United haven't won a game against a Big Six opposition all season. There's a reason for that, right? Because there is no real system, right? It's transition, it's quick pace, athletic, get the ball, transition, and score a goal. If we can control that, we have a chance.
I think United are one of those teams that on their day, when they click, they can be, and I'm not talking about a Southampton last night beating Liverpool type of fight. I'm talking about a very good squad with good players that on their day when they do click, they can be very dynamic and can really, they can score goals and they've got lots of dangerous players. I just think, obviously, like you said, Karl, I don't think Ollie's getting the consistency, which is a bit daft, seeing as though they're second in the league, but I think over a long period of time, they'll be a little bit like this. They'll do a Chelsea, come back, have 6-7 wins on the bounce, then have a drop off. I don't think there's a consistency there for them this season.
Andy, the evidence of that is Champions League, right? They beat PSG, then against RB Leipzig, they got blown away, right? And they needed a point. Again, it's what system are you playing? Is a consistency. Do the players understand the system? They're playing to a system, not just running and transitioning back and forth, which they normally do against the bigger boys. So it'll be interesting to know.
Andy Blooming says, is VAR in for tomorrow's game? Yes, it is. Yeah, tomorrow night, it's VAR will be back at Old Trafford. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably on what the score is on in the 95th minute, whether it will be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know what that says. But last year, City had win United with Mahrez, Bernardo and Jesus, and without De Bruyne 3-1.
De Bruyne was there.
Right, somebody is definitely wanting to go into a time. Definitely, Adam Quinn, you're wanting to go into a timeout using that terminology, double pivot. No, I ain't having it. You know my thoughts on that terminology. Double pivot, no. I'd play Delap as a false nine with Sterling on the right and Mahrez on the left. Interesting, because that's something we're going to talk about now, which is tomorrow's lineup. And obviously, I'm going to go back to Pundit Jay, and he's going to give you his Manchester United lineup for tomorrow. So here's Pundit Jay.
Final. Now, my lineup for United is going to be, formation is going to be 4-2-3-1. In net, I'm going De Gea. Right back, Wan-Bissaka. The centre backs, it has to be Bailly and Maguire. Bailly's in some hot form. Luke Shaw at left back. The two in front of them, Fred and McTominay. Now, I don't necessarily rate that as a highly quality midfield, but you know what? It does a job. It does a job at times. And in the derby day, it seems to do a job. So Fred and McTominay in midfield. In front of them, on the right, I'm going Rashford. He's going to provide a bit of wing play, a bit of pace. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Bruno in the number 10 orchestrating. And then you've got Pogba to the left in the left-hand half space. And you know what Pogba's like? He likes orchestrating stuff as well. He likes playing those little dinks and the through balls and all that. So yeah. And up top, I'm going Martial through the middle. So 4-2-3-1. And Martial scored against Villa last time. So he's probably thinking, yeah, do you know what? I fancy another one. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, he's up against City's defence, Ruben Diaz. Hey, let me tell you something. He's coming to that City team and he's looking like a monster at the back. I can't lie. I can't sit here and lie. He's looking like a monster. Where, how much did you pick him up for? Do you know, I don't know where Tixie pulls out these deals, but he pulls them out sometime. And Ruben is looking like another one. I'm not lying to you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, all set up for a good game. That's my...
There you go. That's his lineup. And he's obviously in love with Ruben Diaz. Big shout out there for Diaz. Right, I'm going to come to each of you, and we're going to go for a rotational thing, obviously goalkeeper, things like that. So, Chris, your goalkeeper first, then for tomorrow. Is it going to be Carson or Stefan?
I think it'll be Stefan.
You reckon?
Well, yes, I do think it was. I wouldn't be overly disappointed if Carson got a game, but
people are shouting out for Scott Carson.
Yeah. He's a legend.
What? Karl, it's got to be Stefan, surely. Obviously, being American.
Yeah, it's got to be Stefan. He's played all the. He played the last one, right? He did. Yeah, it's got to be Stefan. Maybe Carson on Sunday.
Yannicka, I know you've got to go very shortly. So what I'm going to ask is I'm going to write. Oh no, I was going to write it down if he had a pen, but one of the guys will write it down for me. If you've got a pen,
Jesus.
there you go. No, Carl's always got a pen with him. Yannicka, give me your starting 11 for tomorrow.
Okay.
I know you've got to shoot.
Yeah, it's fine. So it'd be Stefan and that, obviously. A back four, I think Cancelo's undroppable. He's got to play Cancelo. I don't know if he will, because I know what he's like. He'll want to switch it up, but I think in a derby, Cancelo. Diaz, I do think that he'll play Laporte, because Laporte is more of a goal threat than Stones. Like, for me, I know they can both score from a header or whatever, but I think Laporte in front of goal, and we've had quite a few goals by defenders at Old Trafford. Otamendi's done it a few times. So I think Laporte might start if he's fit. I don't know for left back. I don't know if he'll stick with Zinchenko or whether he will go with Mendy. I don't know. But I think maybe Mendy. So I'll go with him. Okay. In the middle, Fernandinho and Rodri. And then, I hope that he plays Foden. I don't know if he will, but I hope that he plays Foden. So it'll either be Foden and Mahrez or Foden and Sterling. Obviously, De Bruyne in the middle, and then Aguero up front. That's what I think.
Hey, I'd be happy with that lineup for tomorrow. And I'm sure many United fans will be looking at that lineup and going, pretty decent that. But Yannicka, I know you've got to go. I want to say a massive thank you. Before you go, you're going to be here. Give me a score prediction for tomorrow.
I think it'll be a close one. I think we should win. So I'm going to say a 2-1 City. A lot of people are saying they think it might go to extra time and penalties, but I don't want that, because I don't know if we'll win on penalties. I think they will. So yeah,
especially if Bruno Fernandes takes all 5.
And I think it's with the goalkeeper as well, because obviously we don't know how good Stefan is, in terms of penalties.
He's supposed to be very good, isn't he?
He is brilliant. Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, because I didn't know, so that's why I was like, I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe take him to penalties and win 5-4. that'll be a proper drop a minute, wouldn't it?
Oh no, they'd hate that. But yeah, thank you anyway for having me.
No problem. Listen, you get back to work, and thank you so much for coming on. Look after yourself and get some sleep.
You too. Bye.
All right. There you go. That's Yannicka. She had to go. She was having a break and came on. But she's got to go back to work. But yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to Yannicka for coming on, as usual, on Man City Fan TV. Right back to you two. So obviously, we think Stefan's in there. Give me your back 4, because we could end up mix and matching all sorts of things. I'm going to save mine because I've got a graphic of who I think might play tomorrow. But Chris, give me your back 4, back 3, back whatever you want to play.
Okay, if Ake's fit, I want him at left back.
Yep.
And then I'd be very happy then with Cancelo at right back.
Yep.
I don't want Mendy and Cancelo playing as fullbacks, if I'm honest with you.
Yep.
And then I would have, I don't know where Laporte's at injury-wise. I think he's still got trouble with the hamstring, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. So
I don't know.
I don't think it's anything major, but Diaz and Stones, obviously, they've been rock solid so far. You know, give them a rest against Birmingham.
Okay. Karl, your back 4.
Exactly with Chris. I'm with Chris, 100%. Yep.
Okay. So you're going. So
Chris and I always see eye to eye. Chris and I always see.
Hey.
Except for Messi.
You're not seeing my back 4 yet.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So that's you're both going for Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, and Ake.
Yeah.
It's like that. Okay. Right. This is where it gets a bit tough now. So give me your midfield in whatever formation, Chris, that you want to go with.
I will Fernandinho with Gundogan and Kevin.
Okay. There you go. So that's Fernandinho with what was that?
Sorry, Fernandinho with Gundogan and Kevin.
Gundogan and Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay. Karl?
Yeah, I'm going to go Rodri, Kevin, and Gundogan. I think he's going to stick with those 3.
Rodri, Kevin, and Gundogan. Okay. Yeah. So no Fernandinho tomorrow to start.
I think he's going to have him on the bench. I could be wrong.
Charlie thinks Rodri is unplayable.
Is that in the Messi sense?
I don't know. I was going to say, very ambiguous that, mate. We could read into that what you want. Okay, so you're 4 with 3, 2, 1, whatever.
Actually, if I can change, I'm going to change it if you don't mind. Again, can I just change it?
Hey up. Go on.
I just thought he's going to play a false 9. He's playing the false 9 tomorrow. I think we're going to have Rodri, Fernandinho, and Gundogan as a 3 in the midfield.
That would be slow, but okay. All right then. That's your 3. Right, Chris, on to your 4 with 3.
Raz on the right.
Yeah.
Is Torres still out?
I don't think he's going to be ready for tomorrow.
Okay, if Torres isn't playing, I'd keep Phil on the left, and then Sergio up front.
Interesting. Karl?
I'm going Foden left, KDB false 9, Sterling on the right.
Just say that again.
Foden left, KDB as a false 9.
Okay.
And then Sterling on the right. The only change between the game on Chelsea and this game is Fernandinho for Bernardo. Yeah.
So
Anthony's put in the comments, that's a triple pivot that Carl's picked.
We're not even going there either. Gundogan is not slow. I never said Gundogan is slow. Mate, he is slow, but he looked a lot quicker the other night. But I'm talking about that 3. Gundogan, Rodri, and Fernandinho together is a pretty slow midfield. They've got.
Andy, did you notice that when Fernandinho came on, he played a little higher?
Yeah, I think I'm only saying that in the generic terms. I'm not talking about individual players because let's face it, Gundogan didn't play in a holding role or a real. He was up in a 10 and an 8, and he was all over the place. So I'd be happy with either of those. Ghost Degrade says, Karl, you are a legend, mate. Anthony Quintuple. I think that should be a P, shouldn't it? Not a B. Quintuple rather than quintuple. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I would drop Bernardo. He looked much better recently. This is the Kamal is suspended. There you go. This is the problem. Right. Okay. Shall I give you my lineup for tomorrow? Did I bring it up? I don't even know whether I brought it up on here. Did I?
No.
Second. I haven't brought it up. Right, okay. Oh no, because I'm in the wrong bloody settings here. 1 second. Here's my lineup. So there you go. I've gone for Stefan in net. I've gone Stones and Diaz. I've gone Cancelo and Nathan Ake. I've gone Rodri holding. I've gone KDB and Gundogan ahead of him. I've gone Foden on the left, Sterling on the right, and Sergio Aguero up front. Being such a massively important game.
Wow. That's good.
Certainly Aguero, if anywhere near ready to start, must start tomorrow because of, like you said, Karl, we've got Birmingham coming up and there's no need to play him against Birmingham. This is the game for me. That Sergio Aguero must start tomorrow. He must start because if he keeps coming on for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there, Jesus, if he's not ready to play and start in a derby, Carabao Cup semi-final tomorrow, well, he's not going to play against what? We're going to really play Aguero against Birmingham when Jesus will be back?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, what, another couple of weeks of, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's about time he starts. And if he has to come off after 60 minutes, bring him off. But Sergio, I think, against their back, but against Maguire, he'll have Maguire spinning left, right and centre all over the place and be dragging him everywhere, which will give loads of space if Kevin is advanced like he the other day or wide, and you've got Gundogan in there with his little intricate passes and things like that. So,
and to be fair to your point, I think you make sense. I think that the fear of Sergio Aguero on the field started just when he walks on the pitch. There's just a whole different mindset versus.
Well, put it this way: if you are Bailly or like Pundit Jay said, if you're Bailly or Maguire, or you're a whoever, Wan-Bissaka and the Shaw and things like that. If you're those two centre-backs going, well, Kevin De Bruyne is going to play in a false 9, so we might be able to push him in. You got Sergio Aguero, who you know is going to just sit on your shoulder and he'll go Maguire to Bailly, from Bailly to Shaw, from Shaw to Bissaka. He'll be going right across that line, dragging him. They'll be going, I can't leave him for a second. You know, right from word go, it's like I have got to be focused on him because you know Aguero in a split second can go. That's it. You know where he is. Which allows your likes of your Fodens to drift in, your Gundogans, your Kevin De Bruyne to play in a 10. And then others are going, shit, it's De Bruyne on the ball. He could shoot. But I've still got to look after Aguero because I don't know where he's going to be. His movement is that good.
There is one thing I really like about the formation that we've picked with Foden on the left against Wan-Bissaka. Because Foden is a naturally left-footed player, he's going to unbalance Wan-Bissaka. The reason why Sterling struggles on the left against Wan-Bissaka because he's right-footed. So he has to check in. And Wan-Bissaka is a very good defender. But with Foden on the left, who's unpredictable and he's quick.
Yeah. So that's Pundit Jay. That's what he's thinking with Bissaka and Bailly and Maguire and Shaw. And then Fred and McTominay in that midfield. I can understand that because two are they're not brilliant at going forward, but both are very, very solid.
Hardworking.
Will it be that? I mean, what did you say, Chris? You said
I've got the same team as you, apart from
Fernandinho. I mean, I would have Fernandinho in tomorrow's lineup without a shadow of a doubt, but I don't think he will. I hope he does. I just don't think he will.
Honestly, I think Fernandinho will go through Fernandez early doors if he's playing. And I think he'll keep him quieter. I don't think Rodri's that sort of player. So that's the reasoning there why I'd have him.
That's fair.
And I hope they play Pogba.
You hope they play Pogba.
Yeah, it's a show pony.
Oh, hey, we've got. He's back. Is he ready to come on now? Maybe he can. Martin, I'll bring Martin on just at this point. Only we'll continue the conversation about the United game. And then at the end, Martin would like to say a few words, obviously, about Colin Bell, because he wasn't here at the beginning. But let's bring him on. Hey, up, mate. You all right?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was on then. I was on another screen. Sorry.
We've
bad.
gone from beauty to the beast, have we, Andy?
Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. Hey, she was down in the bottom corner. So, yeah, we have a beauty. We're going to put Colin Bell to one side. You can say what you want. We've done the thing on Colin Bell, but you can come back later. We're just talking about your lineup. So what would your lineup be? You probably heard what me, Karl, and Chris were talking about. Yannicka gave hers, and you've seen, this is, if you haven't seen it, that's Pundit Jay's lineup for tomorrow. That's what he thinks it's going to be. I think apart from Fernandinho with Chris, this was pretty much our lineup. I think, Chris, you brought in Fernandinho instead of Rodri. Is that right?
Yeah, and then the rest of it exactly the same as yours, yeah.
So, Karl, I think, Karl, you went for the same as that. Am I right?
Karl had
Fernandinho instead of Aguero. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Karl had a false nine. He had Kevin De Bruyne back in that false nine role instead of Aguero, and Fernandinho in as well. So what's your lineup for tomorrow?
Stefan in net.
Yeah.
I think he will play. I think he'll play Cancelo right back. I think he'll play Diaz and Stones, and I think he'll play Zinchenko again.
Yeah.
Fernandinho, despite everything that I say.
He's too old, isn't he?
Well, Gundogan, Mahrez. Sorry, KDB, Mahrez. I think he'll play instead of Sterling.
Hold on a minute. You've got Fernandinho.
Yeah, I've done 4 at my back, 3 in the middle.
Hold on, who's your 3 in your middle?
Fernandinho, KDB, and Gundogan.
KDB and Gundogan, yeah. Then Mahrez, you think will play instead of Sterling?
Yeah. And I think it will be Phil Foden, and I think it will be Aguero, because they've got to get minutes in his legs somehow.
Interesting. So you're actually dropping Sterling for the derby and bringing Mahrez in instead?
Yeah, only because Pep won't go that many games and drop Mahrez. He just won't do it.
Thing is we got Birmingham, haven't we, at the weekend? Plenty of spaces for a lot of players, maybe even some academy players to play as well.
Well, I'm hoping to see Cole Palmer and all that at the weekend more.
A lot of them were training. We talked about it at the very beginning of the video. Karl made a good point. I went through the players that have been in training with the first team today, which is unusual. Cole Palmer, Delap, Taylor Howard-Bellis, Nemetcha, Bete, McAtee, Alex Robertson and Alpha Dionku all have been training with the first team today. And I asked whether are they just the 11, the United 11 for tomorrow night's game. And Karl said maybe they're getting them in the team, maybe for the Birmingham game, which is a good point.
Yeah.
So, right.
My fear, Andy, is that he's going to sacrifice Foden for Mahrez based on Martin's point.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't sacrifice Sterling because he's paid. It doesn't matter whether he's one-on-one.
Sacrifices Foden for Mahrez.
I'm not dropping Sterling in a nasty way. I'm dropping him to
No. Yeah, I wouldn't for a derby. I'd play the strongest possible team. The only one with the other two is the Fernandinho thing. I would love Fernandinho to start. I really would. Whether he will or not, I hope so, but I don't think he will, in my opinion. Yeah, other than that, I think the only other debatable thing is left back. Otherwise, what you're going into is we're now dropping key players to bring in people who won't play for a while, and and you've got the argument of a false nine versus Aguero.
Well, I don't think Aki's fit, and I'm not going down the Mendy road.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's one of those. Mendy came in tomorrow and had a worldie. I don't think people are going to go, oh, no, I still wish he didn't play, and I still, you know, but it comes in as a poor game. It just adds to the whole woe done it. Will Pep put Mendy into a position that if he has a bad game, makes a mistake on top of everything else that's happened, will he put pressure on him again? Or is he better off being saved for Birmingham? Let him have a run out there. Maybe Zinchenko keeps his place. Ake, we don't know officially yet. But yeah, Martin, you said there were rumours that he might not be fully fit for tomorrow. So maybe Zinchenko keeps his place. I don't know. Maybe Laporte comes in at left back. And that way we've got Laporte, Stones, Diaz, and Cancelo, which is almost our strongest back four. If Kyle Walker was in there instead of Cancelo, Tom Hudson. I'm only kidding. Just winding Tom up. But that either way, I think it's a pretty strong back four. But right, going to come to your score predictions. I'm going to go to Pundit Jay first. See what Pundit Jay has to say about tomorrow's score predictions.
And I think overall, though, I think both teams are going to score. I don't think it's going to be a 0-0 again. And I just think United are going to nick it, you know. I think they're going to nick it. I think they're going to score 2. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester United. That's my score prediction for the semi-final, do you know what I mean? But also, like I said earlier, it's going to be a nice cagey game, do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But yeah, listen, you know who it is. It's your boy, Pundit Jay, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks again to Man City Fan TV and Andy. Enjoy the match, people, yeah?
There you go. He thinks it's going to be a tight, cagey game, and it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester United. So, Karl, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going 2-0 City.
2-0. Confident in that back four?
Depends on who starts and how we start. All depends on how we start. If we see the energy we saw against Chelsea,
yeah,
it could be 2 or more. If we see the way we played against, say, West Brom, yeah, we could suffer.
Definitely could suffer. Chris, thoughts on yours?
I said on Sunday 7-0. It was 5-0 yesterday, 3-0 today. Probably down to 4-0 by the morning.
A one-all draw.
Yeah. And then we're going to get hammered by kickoff. We'll be getting hammered. Just a win will do, Andy. I don't care.
Scott Williams went 2-0. Mingy won. He thinks it's 2-1. Brillo goes 1-1. Win on pens to City. Kaz Assad says 4-1 to City. Wow. Kaz, I'd take that every day of the week. Mate, he's not our best left back at all. I don't know what that's all about. Anthony Omar, 3-0 City. Dupe says, oh yeah, Stefan playing 3-1 City. Charlie Everett's going for 2-1 City. Marcus Janssen, I think I don't know, because it's an Italy player. Is it 4-0 United, I'm thinking, or is that 4-0 City? Oh no, it's confirmed. It's 4-0 City. 3-0 Kamal. Oh, God, Jesus Christ, you lot are confident, aren't you? Adam Quinn, 3-1 City. Sean goes 1-0 City. MCFC Lini goes hoping for a 5-0, but we'll take a 1-0. Mike Perry says, as long as we score one more than them, there you go. We'll take that one. 2-0 City. Diaz at the double. Wow. 3-0 City, says Queen versus King. Oh, yes, City. Sorry, I grabbed that one, mate. I mean, if I'm City will get destroyed. Where's Sachin when you want him? Is he on here? We need this score. Is he on here? Find him if he is. What are your thoughts on KDB contract situation? Not worried about it, mate. Say goodbye to the Clown Blues.
Go on, then.
So 5-0 City. What's that?
I'm waiting to see whether he's done it or whether he hasn't done it yet.
Who? What are you on about?
Waiting for Chris to get rid of him then. I know what he meant by say goodbye to the Clown Blues.
Who's that? Sorry, I must have missed something there. You want to fill me in or not bothering?
United fan, that's on. Chris was saying say goodbye to him.
All right, okay. Brillo says they'll have to start. Well, you just heard Chris, Martin, their lineups doesn't seem to be a doubt he'll play tomorrow. 3-2 to City, says Lankow.
Sorry, can someone tell me what this Man United hype is? I'm lost. Have I come into a parallel universe where Man United have suddenly become Barcelona-esque?
No, you came in late and missed the discussion we had earlier all about United and where they are in the table and things.
When Man U play decent, they get their ass slapped.
I know, but we did it earlier. We're not going into repeating. It's all right, don't worry.
Matt, are you trying to tell me that that Man United fans haven't been delusional all your lifetime?
I know, yeah.
More than likely, yeah.
There you go. Delusional United fans. There you go. That says it all. Right. Okay. Oof. Go on.
Give me my score prediction.
Yeah.
4-1.
4-1.
I don't think there'll be any team talk needed. I think unfortunately what's happened today, we'll G every single one of them up. We're going to wear the shirts in respect. They're all going to have the number 8 from what I'm hearing. They're all going to wear the number 8. You know, it's no team talk needed tomorrow.
It isn't. It isn't. Chris?
I'll be happy with an 8-0 for Colin.
Hey. I think a goal on in the 8th minute, one in the 8th, one in the 28th, one in the 38th, and then we'll take a couple in the 78th and 88th minute, and that'll do us, won't it?
Yeah, I think we if we play anything like we did against Chelsea, I think it'll be a comfortable 3-0 win.
3-0. Karl?
Well, I said 2-0. Yeah, that's what I think.
Right. 8-0 City sounds right. I'm not sure about that. 4-1 City, says Heck. Do you think Haaland will come to City? Who knows, mate? Maybe one for another vlog for another day. This is about tomorrow's. The biggest thing was obviously about sad demise of Colin Bell, and sadly died today. Legend of Manchester City. And we've been talking about the Manchester United game with Pundit Jay, with Yannicka, with Karl, Chris, and Martin's just joined now. Martin, you missed the beginning where we all had a few words to say about Colin Bell. I know you wanted to come on and talk about Colin Bell. So away you go, mate.
Yeah. I didn't believe it at first. Obviously, when I spoke, you know, I'm on my own now. No, what it was I just wanted to come on because I spoke when it came out. Spoke to my dad. My dad's nearly 80 years old, and my dad's watched Colin Bell. You know, those were his eras. Those were his times, and you know, me and my dad always sat in the main stand. Now the Colin Bell stand, and I think it's a sad day. You know, people say we have no legends. Well, no, fortunately, we've lost probably our greatest legend today in Colin Bell. You know, nearly 394 appearances, 100 and odd goals that he scored for us, nearly 50 England caps, and his career was ruined by an awful injury. But yeah, 74, no age at all. But you know, rest in peace. Wish all his best to his family. But yeah, sad day, Manchester City. And you know what? Maybe it's fate. We've got the Manchester Derby tomorrow. Maybe it is fate. Manchester Derby semi-final, and we celebrate his life by going to Wembley Stadium again. What a way to do it. Back. Oh.
There you go. We'll bring the other guys back. Yeah, some nice words there. Just to finish off tonight's Man United, what started off, what should have been, I should say, a Man United versus Man City Carabao Cup semi-final preview for tomorrow night's game. Obviously started with paying our respects to Colin Bell, who sadly died sometime earlier today. Yeah, very, very sad news. Lots and lots of people came on in the comments paying their respects. So Martin's just had some nice words to talk about in there. Chris, final words on Colin Bell before we go to you.
Colin Bell was a fan's favourite. And there's nothing more you can say than that. There's a reason they loved him and he loved them. You know, he's got words that he said, you know, you gave half, City gave you, fans gave double back what you gave them, the greatest fans out there. He loved us and we loved him. Will be a fan's favourite forevermore. You know, RIP Colin, and such a sad day for the club.
Statue outside the stadium on his own for him.
Yeah.
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 Outside the main entrance of the Colin Bell stand. How fitting is that?
I agree, absolutely. Karl, final words just on Colin Bell.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm one of the newbies, so I didn't have the opportunity to understand him or see him play. But I always spend tonight going back on YouTube movies with a glass of wine and saluting him for being a legend for the club. So,
right, well, listen, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. That's your preview for tomorrow night's game. Man United, of all things, tomorrow, the day after Colin Bell sadly passed away. Man United versus Manchester City. I'm sure there'll be the usual minute silence tomorrow at Old Trafford. And there's supposed to be a memorial shirt that will be worn by the City players. We'll wait and see what that is, what colour it is, and exactly how it looks. But yeah, it's a sad, sad day for all Manchester City fans, I'm sure Manchester fans in general. But yeah, rest in peace, Colin Bell, MBE, and all our best wishes to his family and his close friends as well. But this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. I want to say thank you to Martin. See you, mate. To Karl.
thank you, sir. It's good, always good to be here.
And to Chris.
Thank you, Andy, and thanks for everyone who joined us.
No problem. I'll leave you with that terrace chant that you, if you follow Manchester City, home or away or both, you'll have heard in the concourse at many a stadium around the UK. This is Colin Bell, and rest in peace.